Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to part 2 of making a prototype mask from Poppy Playtime chapter 5. In this video I'll be showing you how I made the teeth of the prototype. So without further ado, let's step right in. Enjoy! Oh, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any new videos. Thanks a lot! The first thing I did was of course printing the teeth. I modified them a bit in Blender just like the mask. They took about 6 hours to print because they're not particularly small. They already came out pretty smooth, but I still did the same priming and sanding process just like the mask piece. For the first sand I took one of my 240 grit sanding papers and began smoothing all the edges out and sanding down any big printing lines and support rests. After the first big grit, I took my Dremel and did some finer work on the teeth. I mainly focused on getting all the edges smooth, and for that I also got some 1200 grit sanding paper. This worked out very well for all the parts. Right here I'm smoothing out the teeth of the lower jaw. And after giving everything a wash, I began to spray on the first layer of primer and let it dry for a few hours. In the meantime, I planned out a little mechanism for the mask of the prototype. In game, his head can rotate, just like Sun and Moon's from Security Breach. For that, I modeled a structure for the head that will hold onto a servo motor, which will rotate the whole mask. But for now, I'm only going to make the structure itself. These long parts will be some support structures for the servo holding part. Right here I'm preparing them for slicing an orc slicer. And here we have the main piece printing. Luckily these parts were relatively flat, so it took only about 2 hours of printing everything. I dremeled the main piece at an angle, that way I can attach it straight down to the inside of the mask. In order to attach the main piece to the head, I took my plastic superglue and gave the top a nice coat. After that dried, I began to do the filament welding technique again, just like I did with the mask. This part needs to be 100% static and not able to break. That's why I'm welding it on. The support structure also needed to be welded on at an angle, so I dremeled them down too. Then I did the same process like the main piece, gluing the structure on and welding them together later on. That thing is very sturdy and not going anywhere. In the meantime, the primer dried, but also ran out. So I ordered some white primer and began applying the second layer. But this thing really had the spray strength of a pressure washer, so I had to be careful not to spray too hard. After the second layer dried, I once again sanded the primer layer down with a wet 1200 grit, just to roughen up the primer and removing any last particles. I still had some bigger lines in the print, so I once again began to apply some car putty onto the teeth. And here we have the final result of the teeth. They came out very smooth, even smoother than the mask, and I can't be any happier. For the gums, I originally thought to make them out of cardboard, because I have this big ass box down in my basement and I wanted to use some of it. But then I saw that I have tons of hot gluing sticks left, so I began to quite literally 3D print the glue onto the mask. Every time it hardened, I could do another layer and work my way up applying the glue. This took longer than I anticipated, but after 2 hours it looked like this. With some permanent marker I marked out the spots in which the teeth will sit in and began to Dremel them out. Unfortunately, hot glue melts very fast and I had to clean my Dremel every now and then because the glue just holds onto the saw. And here we have the upper gums. To see if everything fits, I took some duct tape and taped the teeth to the inside of the mask. This will also protect the teeth from the next thing I'll be doing, modeling the back out. I basically just took 4 hot glue sticks and spread them right onto the teeth. I had a lot of fun doing this, and it will be also very helpful for getting the teeth in later on, because I can just stick them in, right into the gums. After carefully getting the teeth and the tape out, this is what we are left with. I'm so happy that I used this method instead of the cardboard, it just looks way more natural and cleaner. Now the lower gums. I marked the cuts with permanent marker and Dremeled them out. Right here I also taped them in to see how it looks, and honestly I was way more worried with the lower teeth, but everything went smooth. The only pain was getting the smaller teeth right at the edges in. Now I can also model the back out with my hot glue gun. After that dried, I just had to smooth out the hot glue. For that, I used one of my special Dremel attachments. This worked very well in the first few minutes, but I later switched to some finer sandpaper. The last thing we have to do to the gums is filling in some major gaps. So I gave it a 3-layer priming coat. And here we have the final result of the gums. I also taped in all of the teeth just to show how it looks right now. I won't be sticking them in permanently right now. I also need to paint the gums and the teeth. Removing them makes it a lot easier and I won't be having any stuff in my way. But we won't be doing this in this video. But in the next video I will complete the servo mechanism. So in order to not miss that, make sure to like and subscribe. Alright, see you next time and have a wonderful day. Goodbye!